I'm Chris Deering. I'm chairman of Codemasters, a 20-year-old game company from the UK, most famous for Colin McRae Rally and cricket games. Well-respected, long-standing part of the game industry. And before that, I was in charge of PlayStation Europe from its beginning in 1995 right through the end of 2005.
Chris, how did you get into gaming?
A long time ago, I was recruited actually from Gillette, the shaving company, to go work for Atari in the San Francisco area in the days of the VCS and the 400 and 800 computer. It was a very sexy job change at that time. The industry was fun then even. The volumes were much smaller, and of course the games were simpler, but in some ways it was the passionate beginning of a long road. Since that time, I've been involved with games about half the time, and the other half involved with distribution of movies on video.
What was it about? What were the first games you played? What really, you know?
First game I played that I really got hooked on was called Centipede. There was a recreation of it, I think, on PlayStation 1, and then maybe even another one on PS2. But the original game on Atari VCS was extremely addictive and quite unique even by today's standards. More recently, I get to see a lot of games in development. I don't get the time to play any at great length, but I'm having some fun with PSP right now, and even some rather simple concepts, but very fun, like Bliss Island on PSP in Europe from Codemasters.
Well, the younger people wouldn't know it now, but Sony wasn't always in gaming, and so you witnessed the transformation over the years. What were those early days like when the PlayStation first came out, and you were actually the underdogs in a way?
That's true. We were the underdogs. PlayStation was the dream child of Ken Kutaragi, initiating in the days when Sony made, I think, the sound chip for one of the Nintendo machines, and then collaborated with Nintendo to do a combination disc and cartridge-based machine, and then fell out over defining how the royalties would be split on the software for that machine. And so Sony had the guts and the vision and the passion to take on what possibly would have been seen as an insurmountable task at the time, given the total domination of Nintendo. Nonetheless, a very intelligent thought came into the picture, and Olga Son, who was chairman at the time, set PlayStation up as a separate division, a joint venture between the Sony Electronics TV division and the music company, music publishing and record company in Tokyo. And that proved to be quite magic. It brought together both the software mentality, entertainment mentality, and the discipline and the technology from the hardware side. Of course, it was pretty terrifying to get out there and take on such a entrenched leader, but we did have the first mass market, let's say, CD-based game software, which was more economic and logical as a medium for the software itself than the cartridge format. And that was very helpful, as well as the 3D graphics and the CD sound, all combining with the Sony personality and some pretty nice new games, which we were helped a lot by Namco with Ridge Racer, of course, and Tekken. After we got used to the fact that we were going to be around for a while, then of course the mentality changed a bit, and we started to think about PS2 and gaining more market share. I'm very proud to say that Europe had a relatively strong success rate over the years, partly because we worked in such close collaboration with Sony's video division in all of the countries of Europe, and as well as Australia and Middle East and South Africa, etc., and Russia. So I'm very proud of what happened, and even to this day, much of the innovation for PlayStation, such as iToy and SingStar and Buzz, have come from European initiatives. And in Europe we have to deal or I'll say in international terms, we have to deal with multicultures and countries and laws and currencies and game styles, and you know, what works in one place doesn't always work everywhere else. So we're pretty flexible, enjoy the diversity and enjoy the challenge. I've had a great experience in that, and now I'm focusing on some new technologies and semi-retired, but really putting in a lot of time because it's fun.
Yeah, as you pointed out in your presentation, it's really, the gaming is now more than just the games. It's really coming out of the, it's no longer just on your TV screen, but it's going out in the streets. Where do you see this passion for digital entertainment going? I mean, I think most people are really, you know, they're just gamers, they just don't know it yet.
Yeah. Well, if you go right back to the very beginning in television and Atari and the Apple II and the Atari 400 and then ColecoVision, etc., over the generations, each passing generation had more and more parents who grew up playing games, and now grandparents who grew up playing games. So by evolutionary flow, more and more of humanity is being born into a life where games are part of the entertainment package. New technology has changed our lives in so many ways, even in the last 5 years. When you think about the camera you're holding now, SMS, you know, high definition, mobile phones, Wi-Fi. I think anytime that something new comes along in a faster processor, or better communication, or more memory, or sexier graphics, creative people will find ways to improve the experience. And now I think it's getting even more holistic in the sense to say, well, the experience doesn't have to be restricted to a particular device or the living room or the bedroom. It can be an alternative lifestyle. It can go along throughout the day as a companion to your life and provide dimension and excitement. So that these kind of things now are appealing to older people and gals. It's just normal for this field. That's why it's so addictive and so much fun. You don't really know where the next turn is coming in the road. The whole industry is like a video game. But any new development is exciting if you come from the mentality that says change is fun, new things are fun, find ways to make new technology fun, learn from the past, but don't be you know, held back by it. So I'm sure that 10 years from now there'll be people doing interviews on the amazing new developments then. But this is a quite important time right now as multi-device applications, monetization through online delivery, and the newly emerging GPS and voice recognition and other technologies that are going to really expand the definition of gaming and make it even more fun.
As a last question, what attracted you to Cross Media Lab, and how does it feel to be one of the mentors?
I heard about Cross Media Lab at BAFTA in London through a friend that's working on interactive digital cinema, and met Brendan when he came through London 6 months ago. I love the idea of meeting people at the very sharp edge, maybe pre-career, and it's always fun to give your opinion. It's always fun to watch others take advice and you know, appreciate it. Even if they don't use it exactly, they get something out of it. So for me, it's very rewarding kind of psychic income, and I hope that the project teams feel the same. And having met some of the other mentors, I'm having some fun learning from them too.
Okay, thank you very much, Chris, for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.